Hello everyone, good evening. We'll start our class in next couple of minutes. So meanwhile, you guys can quickly revise our data set which we have seen yesterday. Yes, so hello everyone, good evening and welcome to today's class. So yeah, I hope you guys have seen the dataset which I have shared you guys yesterday. Kaggle link share చేశాను కదా. So I hope you guys have tried downloading the dataset and exploring the dataset by yourselves. right? So I hope there are no doubts on the dataset part. So if you still have any doubts regarding the dataset, we'll have a quick revision on the dataset, like what are the columns. We'll have just a look at the important columns which we'll be using in our, in our code. Okay, everyone, can you please turn off your cameras? Yes. So we'll be looking at into the important columns which we'll be using in our code, and what are the useful columns in our recommendation system, and then we'll do some data pre-processing. Okay. Yes. So let me share my screen before we begin. So guys, when you're attending the class, try not to turn on your videos, okay? Because you'll have YouTube live also. So for your privacy concerns. Am I not audible? Am I audible, guys? Yes, right. Okay. Okay. So ఇది మన డేటా సెట్ కదా. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద నేమ్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ డేటా సెట్ విచ్ we are going to use. TMDB 5000 underscore movies dot CSV. Right? So దీంట్లో మనం ఏం yesterday we have seen the brief introduction on you know uh, every column, right? అసలు ప్రతి column what each and every column indicates. Correct? So at last we have decided that, or at last we have found out that only the three columns will be useful for us. One is genres, right? One is genres, and the other one is keywords. So మనకి genres లో ఏముంటది? It will tell you what kind of movie it is. సో ఆ మూవీ థీమ్ ఏంటి అనేది చెప్తారు అనమాట. ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అన్ యాక్షన్ మూవీ, ఆర్ అడ్వెంచర్ మూవీ, ఆర్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అ సైన్స్ ఫిక్షన్ మూవీ, ఆర్ ఫ్యాంటసీ మూవీ, సో క్రైమ్ మూవీనా, అలా ఇట్ విల్ టెల్ యూ వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ మూవీ ఇట్ ఈస్. సో జానర్స్ కెన్ బి యూస్ఫుల్ ఫర్ అస్. And you have keywords. Keywords and the key elements in that particular movie. It will give you only it will represent the key elements in that particular movie. So again, this can be useful for us to identify the similarity between two movies. So మన recommendation system ఎలా how will it work? మన recommendation system ఎలా work అవుతుంది? It will work based on the similarity between the content. Similarity two movies లో ఉన్న content similarity ని బేస్ చేసుకుని will recommend the movie. So for example, if I'm recommending Bahubali 1, then if I have watched Bahubali 1, then my recommendation system should recommend me to watch Bahubali 2 also, right? Because those two are similar movies, or be it those two are similar themed movies or sequel movies, correct? So alaga, based on this content similarity, we are going to recommend movies to the users, right? So first column which we'll be using is genres, and the second column is keywords, and we have something called as overview. Overview and the summary of the movie, or the complete storyline of the movie, right? So again, ఈ overview లో కూడా we can understand what that storyline is. అంటే ఆ మూవీని అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి, if you read the overview, then you will be able to understand, okay, what kind of movie it is, right? So these three columns are used to understand the, to calculate the similarity between the content, correct? So three columns ni we are going to use in our model. Okay. And we are going to use one more column called as title. Okay, title అనే కాలం ఎందుకు యూస్ చేస్తున్నాము అంటే, see, for example, at the end of your project, ఈ ప్రాజెక్ట్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత what is your end goal? your end goal is that your end goal is, if a user selects a particular movie, అంటే ఒక యూజర్ ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేను if I'm selecting this avatar, okay, avatar ని సెలెక్ట్ చేస్తే then it should recommend me five similar movies, five similar movies to avatar. అంటే అవతార్ లాంటివి ఒక 5 similar movies it should recommend me, right? That is my end goal. So నా లాస్ట్ స్టెప్ లో I will be using this title అనే కాలమ్, right? So the end user ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో he'll be selecting a title or title and movie name. So he'll be selecting a title or movie name or the title, and then your recommendation model should run by itself, and then it will have to recommend 5 movies for you, 5 similar movies for you, right? So that is our model. Okay, so మనం ఈ డేటా సెట్ లో నుంచి what are the columns we are going to use? We are going to use overview, genres, keywords, and title, right? So these are the 4 columns which we are going to use. 3 columns we are going to use in we are going to use in building the model. Model ni design cheyadamlo we are going to use genres, keywords, and overview. Whereas in the end step, at the last step, to select a particular title, we are going to use title and a column. Okay, yes. So let's see the coding part now. Yes, so first what we'll be doing is, let's upload the first, let's import loading data. Let me add one more text. One. Importing libraries. For now, let's import just pandas, because we'll have to convert this data into data frame. So let's import just this. And then your step 2 is load the data set. Okay. So ikkada manam will have to load the data set. Na data set ekkadundi? It is in my file explorer. Like I have already downloaded the data set from Kaggle. So it is in my local system. So ఇప్పుడు దీన్ని నేను ఏం చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నా అంటే, I want to upload my data set into Google Colab. Google Colab లోకి నేను నా డేటా సెట్ ని అప్లోడ్ చేసుకుందాం అనుకుంటున్నా. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మనం పైచామ్ లో వర్క్ చేసినప్పుడు we have already added that. మనం what we used to do, we used to add that CSV file in the directory. మన project directory లోనే we used to add that CSV file or the data set which we are going to work on, right? But ikkada, since it is on web platform, మనం ఇక్కడ you can, I mean, we have ways to select it. So ఇక్కడ మనం directory అనేది we are not creating, right? We have just one single notebook. Correct? We have one single notebook, Python notebook undi. So here only we are doing everything. We are not maintaining this code in the form of directory, like oka folder la maintain cheyatledu manam, right? So ikkada manam ela load cheskuntamu ante, you can use Google Colab tool anamata okati. So from Google Colab, okay. Yes. So if you see here, from google.colab import files uploaded equals to files.upload. Ante Google Colab ane oka what do we say, library nunchi I am importing files. Okay, so ikkada when you run this emavutadante, you will get an option to upload your file from your local storage or local directory. So if I click on choose files, I can select my data set here. Okay, and then I'll click on open. So it will load 0%, 2%, 4%. So ఇలా so using this google.collab అనే లైబ్రరీని యూస్ చేసుకుని I am uploading my local file into this Google Colab notebook. A Python notebook loki I am uploading my dataset file which I have downloaded in my local system. Right? Clear everyone? Why am I doing this this part of code? Quick yes no. If you didn't understand, please let me know. Okay, I'll repeat it. Yes. Right? So na local lo ఉన్న file ni I am uploading it into my Google Colab notebook. Okay, using this particular library. From google.collab ane library nunchi I am importing files and then I am uploading my local file. Okay, and then my next step is to step 3, data pre-processing. Okay. Okay. So ఇప్పుడు నేను అప్లోడ్ చేసుకున్న ఫైల్ ని ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు కన్వర్ట్ ఇట్ ఇంటూ ఏ డేటా ఫ్రేమ్. What's the name of my data set? Okay. సో నేను అప్లోడ్ చేసుకున్న ఫైల్ ని నా లోకల్ ఫైల్ ని ఐఎమ్ కన్వర్టింగ్ ఇట్ ఇంటూ ఏ డేటా సెట్. సో నా CSV ఫైల్ ని ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు కన్వర్ట్ ఇట్ ఇంటూ ఏ డేటా ఫ్రేమ్, pandas data frame. And you guys know how to convert a file into data frame, right? Using pd.read_csv. సో ఇలా చేసినప్పుడు it will your .csv file will get converted into a data frame, right? Yes. So yeah, let's print first few rows. Or head of. Let me put new line here. Let me print it in a complete new line itself. Okay, not sure why we are getting this in different. We have got it. Remove this. Okay. So if you see here, we are printing the first few records, the first 5 records in this particular data set. So దీంట్లో మనకి if you can observe here మన data set లో ఒక 5 records in 5 rows ని we are printing here, right? So these are the first 5 rows in our, you guys know, right? If you use this head, so it will print to the first starting 5 rows from the data frame. Correct? So head print చేసినప్పుడు we have printed first 5 rows. Someone is asking me to repeat something. Can you please mention what you want me to repeat, guys? I missed your comments. Yes, meanwhile, so yeah, మనం data frame read చేసుకుని we are reading our data set, and then we are converting our data set into a data frame, and we are printing the first 5 rows or the first 5 records of our data frame. So if you see here, these are our columns: budget, genres, homepage, ID, keywords, and so on. Okay, దీంట్లో మనకు కావాల్సినవి genres, keywords, and overview is somewhere here, right? And after this we need our title also, correct? So these are the 4 columns which we'll be using here. So మనం ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాము అంటే, yes, we create a next code cell. Okay, now let's check if there are any null values ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయేమో చూద్దాం. Say null counts equals to df dot is null of dot sum of. Okay, let's print this now. Print null counts. రైట్, మనకి బడ్జెట్ లో 0 null values ఉన్నాయి, అండ్ you got the null counts for each column basically. So మనకి you have null values in tagline and you have null values in homepage. Homepage లో మనకి we have some 3000 null values, and in tagline you have some 800 null values, and in overview also you have some 3 null values, right? So ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం అంటే, I mean దీంట్లో మనకి ఏమేం కాలమ్స్ కావాలి, we just need genres. So in genres we have 0 null values, and in the keywords we have 0 null values, and in the overview we have some 3 null values. So we'll have to remove these null values, correct? We'll have to fill these null values with something else, right? We'll have to fill this null values with something else, because we'll be using this overview on a column, correct? And we'll be using title column also. So in title also we have 0 null values. So manam basically we'll have to fill the null values in this overview column, right? And let's check if there are any duplicates also. Okay, let's check that as well. Okay, let me print something to differentiate between these two. Duplicate count, and here we will say null counts. So null counts low. Okay, these are our null counts and this is our duplicate count. So manaki we don't have any duplicated records. మన దగ్గర duplicated records ఏమీ లేవు. So if we have any duplicated records, then we can delete those records. Since we don't have any duplicated records, so we are not going to delete any of the records, right? Clear everyone? Is everyone clear so far? If you have any doubts, please mention what exactly you want me to repeat also, okay? I'm seeing few messages to who are asking me to repeat something, but I'm not sure what you guys want me to repeat. Can you please mention that as well? Or can I get quick yes no? అర్థమైంది అందరికి? Quick yes no? Once more. What from the beginning you want me to repeat? So I'll just go through the entire code again once. So we basic steps anamata. So first we are importing the libraries. So ippatikaithe since we are using only pandas, manam data frames ni use chestunnam kabatti, so I'm just importing pandas data frame only. Okay. So later on in our further classes we'll be importing all the necessary libraries. Uh, sklearn alanti libraries and we'll import in the next classes. Okay. For now, since we are going to work on some only on the data frame part, I have imported only pandas library. Okay. And then I have already downloaded my dataset from Kaggle into my local. So now I want to upload my dataset from local to my గూగుల్ కొలాబ్ నోట్బుక్. నా డేటా ఫ్రేమ్ నా డేటా సెట్ ఏదైతే ఉందో సిఎస్వి ఫైల్ అది నా లోకల్ సిస్టంలో ఉంది. సో ఆ లోకల్ సిస్టంలో ఉన్న ఫైల్ని ఐ వాంట్ టు అప్లోడ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ మై గూగుల్ కొలాబ్ నోట్బుక్. వై డూ ఐ వాంట్ టు అప్లోడ్ ఇట్? బికాస్ ఐ వాంట్ టు వర్క్ ఆన్ దట్ నోట్బుక్. I want to work on that data set. A data set ni since I want to use that particular data set in my code, I'll have to upload that particular data set into my Google Colab notebook, right? So to do that uploading part or to load that data set, what I'm using a library called as google.colab and files. So from this google.colab, I'm importing files, and then I'm using this function called as upload files.upload of. Okay. So files.upload of and then it will give me an option. So if I run this again, so I'll have two options here. Choose files okati, cancel upload okati. So if I don't want to upload anything, then I can click on cancel upload. Okay, but if I want to upload a file, then I'll click on choose files. Okay, and then I will select my file from my na local lo ekkada undi, be it in downloads or wherever it is. I'll have to search where it is in my local na local system lo na file ekkada undo telustadi kada. So from there I'll be uploading my data set. So this is my data set, right? TMDB underscore 5000 underscore movies, correct? And then I'm clicking on open. After that, it is uploading my data set into this notebook. It will take some seconds. Yes, so it has uploaded my data set. Okay. A minute, guys. So it has uploaded my data set. So it is saving my data set. See, if you see here, saving TMDB 5000 underscore movies.csv to TMDB underscore 5000 underscore movies first of one.csv. So this is my new file name now. So I'll have to copy this one and I'll have to read the same file. Okay. So ఇక్కడ నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నా, I'm reading my data frame file. నా data set ని I'm reading it and then I'm converting it into a data frame using pandas. Right? I'm converting my .csv file into a data frame. So అది ఎలా కన్వర్ట్ చేస్తాను, using pandas pd and pandas dot read underscore csv of my csv file name, right? And then I want to print first few records of my data frame, correct? I want to print some first five records of my data frame. So I'll be using head of function. Okay. So now if I run this, see, after running this, my data set, which whatever I have uploaded is converted into data frame, and I'm able to print the first 5 records also. This is your output, correct? So after this, I want to check if there are any null values in my data set. Na data set lo edaina null values unnayemo check cheskundam anukuntunna. So that if there are any null values, then I will remove those null values. Enduku? Because so that my data set will be a quality data set. Manchiga untadi kabatti I want to remove all this dirty data. Null values emana unte, I want to remove all those null values. And I also want to check if there are any duplicates. Okay. I want to check if there are any duplicated records. So again here, if I have any duplicated records in my data set, then I'll be removing those duplicated records as well, right? So how do you check null values? You guys already know, right? We have seen in the pandas session that using is null of అని చెప్పి if so whenever you use this df dot is null of dot sum of and use చేస్తే then you will get null count based on each column. అంటే budget లో if there are any null columns it will mention you. Since it is mentioning 0, it means that there are no null values in the budget column. Okay, next coming joiners. Joiners lo kuda you have 0 null values. But in home page column lo you have 3000 3000 around null values, right? You have some 3000 null values. Okay, and you in overview column also you have 3 null values. So ఈ 3 null values ఉన్నాయి కదా, since we are going to use this overview అనే column in our code, we'll have to remove these null values. Okay, let's see how we'll remove those. Okay, and next remaining we have null values in runtime. So let's not worry about this runtime null values because we will be not using this runtime column, and release date kuda మనం యూస్ చేయం కాబట్టి let's not consider that as well. And tagline lo kuda we have 844 null values. Again we will not be removing those null values because we are not going to anyhow consider that particular column, right? Our concerned columns are genre, keywords, and overview and title. So mainly we'll have to check ఈ 4 columns లో ఏదైనా null values ఉన్నాయా అని చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఓకే, మన overview column లో మనకి 3 null values ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి we'll be removing those 3 null values in the next step. Okay, after listening this, any doubts or am I clear? Quick yes no guys. Quick yes no. If you didn't understand also, then it's fine, you can mention it. You don't have to hesitate to tell that you didn't understand. Those who asked me to repeat it again, can you please confirm if I'm clear now or not? Well, I'll be. Okay. Yes. So ఇప్పుడు నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నా, I'm going to fill my null values with some empty strings. Empty strings తో I'm going to fill my null values. So null values ఉన్న ఎందుకు ఫిల్ ఐ మీన్ వై am I doing this particularly is ఎందుకు null values ని fill చేస్తున్నా అంటే or nan values ని fill చేస్తున్నా అంటే, so when you are doing some data pre-processing or when you are applying some methods or for example we are going to apply some NLP techniques, right? So అలాంటి techniques use చేసినప్పుడు if you have null values then it will not calculate properly anamata. Okay, if you still have this empty strings then it is okay, but if you have none values then it will throw you some errors. Okay, so to avoid that we are going to fill these null values with empty strings. Okay, we are going to fill the null values with empty strings anamata. Okay, right, you can ask me like what is the difference between empty string and null value. Value లేకపోవడానికి you know what is meant by empty string, right? Empty string ante just this, nothing will be there. Again it is an empty string cell anamata. Okay, that value will be empty string, that's it. You will not have any text in that. So again why I'm not imputing with other values, వేరే ఏదన్నా values తో ఎందుకు madam, you used to impute these values with some constants or some mean mode median ఇలాంటివి క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేసి ఇంప్యూట్ చేసేవారు కదా. యూ కెన్ ఆస్క్ మీ వై ఆర్ యూ నాట్ డూయింగ్ దట్ అండ్ వై ఆర్ యూ జస్ట్ ఫిల్లింగ్ ద null values with empty strings అని అడగచ్చు. Because first thing why we are not calculating mean median and mode is that this is not a numerical column. దీంట్లో మనకి న్యూమరికల్ వాల్యూస్ లేవు. We have the values in string format. If you see in the data set, మనకు overview ఎలా ఉంటుంది? It is in string format. You have some sentences. So for these sentences, it is impossible to calculate mean, median or mode. Right? If you calculate also, so ఏమవుతుంది? Overview అంటే ఏంటి? It indicates the particular story line. ఆ మూవీకి స్టోరీ లైన్ ఏంటి అని చెప్పి it will indicate you. Okay, so దీనికి నేను if I am going to upload some mode or something like that, then it doesn't make any sense, right? Correct. So I'm not going to impute these null values with any of those mathematical calculations. Okay, and it is not possible also to do such mathematical statistics on this categorical data. Correct. So I'm just filling these null values with empty strings. Okay, I'm filling these empty null values with empty strings. Right? Understood everyone? And ఎందుకు overview లో మాత్రమే చేస్తున్నా అంటే, since we are going to use 4 columns, again I'm repeating, genres, keywords, overview and title, and మనకి ఈ 4 columns లో we have null values only in the overview column. Correct? So ఆ ఒక్క column లో మాత్రమే I'm going to fill the null values. Okay? Right? Yes. Now let us see how many records we have in this data frame. Print size of the data set. Pf dot okay, you have 20 columns and you have 4803 records, 4800 record rows ఉన్నాయి, and you have 20 columns ఉన్నాయి and 4800 records. Okay, check YouTube live chat also. Okay, okay. And ikkada I am directly checking this duplicated count, right? So ikkada it will not do it completely. Sorry, I have missed a step here. So ikkada manam manaki if you see you have this keywords in a form of list JSON format lo undi, right? Alane you have this what is this, where is it? Keywords and genres kuda you have it in a different format. JSON formats lo list of JSON la undi. And again keywords kuda you have it in a different format. It is not like direct. For example, if you see in overview, it is a single string. Idantha single string. Or if you see in original title, it is a single string. But if you see here in genres, you have it in a different format. Right? And for example, if you see oka list undi, a list lo you have multiple dictionaries kind of. Correct? In a list you have multiple dictionaries kind of, like JSON la undi, JSON file la undi. So so what we'll have to do is we'll have to convert these list columns anamata. Okay, so let's just do it only for genres and keywords. Okay, because we'll be using only those particular columns. And overview alano ala ledu kabatti we don't have to do that, and also title is not like that. So again we'll not have to do that process. So only for genres and keywords we'll have to convert this list. Okay, a list columns ni we'll have to convert it into strings for checking if there are any duplicates. Okay, so let us do that as well. Genres equals to dot as type of str. Okay, genres and keywords మాత్రమే అలా ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి we are converting this. Again here I am using something called as type of. So as type of అనేది ఎందుకు యూస్ చేస్తాము అంటే for data type conversion. Okay, for data type conversion we are using this as type of method. Okay, so దీంట్లో మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నాం అంటే we are converting this list column. Genres అనేది ఒక list column, and again keywords అనేవి కూడా it's a list column. So using this as type of method we are converting that particular list column into a string format. String format లోకి కన్వర్ట్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం అన్నమాట. So after converting it into string format uh, you'll get this particular genre అనే ఎంటైర్ ఈ వాల్యూ ఏదైతే ఉందో ఈ లిస్ట్ లోపల సమ్ డిక్షనరీస్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో it will be converted into a single string, just like your overview or something like that. Overview లానే ఒక సింగిల్ స్ట్రింగ్ లా కన్వర్ట్ అవుతుంది అనమాట. సో ఆఫ్టర్ కన్వర్టింగ్ ఇట్ ఇంటూ a single string, then you will be able to compare properly if there are any duplicates, right? So after we run this again, yes, so we don't have any duplicates again. So duplicates kuda emi levu. So then it is fine, we don't have to remove any duplicates. So again, why I'm adding this particular cross check function, cross check ఇది ఎందుకు యాడ్ చేశాను అంటే like just to cross check. Okay, అంటే for example ఇక్కడ మనకు already duplicate count లో it has given me 0, but still I wanted to cross check by converting these list columns into strings, right? So after converting these list columns or genres and keywords into lists strings, I don't see any duplicate values. So in my further process, like తర్వాత future processing ఏమైనా చేసినప్పుడు then it will not create any error or నా redundant data ఏమీ ఉండదు అన్నమాట నా దాంట్లో. Okay, clear everyone why I'm performing this particular step here? As type అనే మెథడ్ అర్థమైందా? We can know. Yes, no? Am I clear or not? Okay. Yes. So next step is that, so ఇప్పుడు ఈ genres and keywords ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ యూ సీ నా కోడ్ నా ప్రాసెసింగ్ నా ప్రీ ప్రాసెసింగ్ స్టెప్స్ లో వెయిట్ నా ప్రీ ప్రాసెసింగ్ ఇఫ్ యూ సీ మై డేటా సెట్ హియర్, నాకు ఓవర్ వ్యూ అనేది ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ yes నా ఓవర్ వ్యూ అనేది ఇట్ ఈస్ ఇన్ ఎ సింగిల్ స్ట్రింగ్ ఫార్మాట్. సో నేను ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నా అంటే టు బిల్డ్ మై మోడల్, నా మోడల్ ని బిల్డ్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఐ వాంట్ టు కంబైన్ దిస్ జానర్స్, కీవర్డ్స్ అండ్ ఓవర్ వ్యూ. నేను నా రికమెండేషన్ సిస్టమ్ ని బిల్డ్ చేయడానికి ఐ వాంట్ టు కంబైన్ దీస్ 3 కాలమ్స్, జానర్స్ ని, కీవర్డ్స్ ని, ఓవర్ వ్యూ ని. బట్ ఇఫ్ ఐ వాంట్ టు కంబైన్ హియర్ ఐ కాంట్ కంబైన్ లైవ్ లో కమెంట్ చేసిన డౌట్స్ కమెంట్ లో కనిపించట్లేదు మ్యామ్. ఓకే మ్యామ్, డిఎఫ్ 2 times ఇవ్వాలా మ్యామ్? వాట్ డిఎఫ్? ఓకే, wait, my screen got struck. Let me try to scroll it down once. Yes, for example, I don't know what exactly to df 2 times ఇవ్వడం అంటే df of overview equals to df of overview dot fill na of అలా 2 times ఇవ్వాలా అని అడుగుతున్నారా? సో ఇఫ్ యూఆర్ ఆస్కింగ్ దట్ పార్ట్, దెన్ ఎస్ యూల్ హ్యావ్ టు డూ దట్, బికాస్ అంటే మీరు ఏం చేస్తున్నారంటే ఆ పర్టిక్యులర్ కాలమ్ లోకి యూఆర్ అసైనింగ్ దిస్ వాల్యూ. అంటే ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, లెట్ మీ ట్రై టు స్క్రోల్. ఎస్, సో ఇప్పుడు చూసారనుకోండి ఇక్కడ. సో ఐఎమ్ అస్యూమింగ్ దట్ దిస్ ఈస్ యువర్ డౌట్. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, డిఎఫ్ డిఎఫ్ ఆఫ్ జోనస్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు డిఎఫ్ ఆఫ్ జోనస్ డాట్ యాస్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ఎస్టిఆర్. సో ఇలా చేసినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది అంటే we used to use this in place equals to true, right? In place equals to true అని ఒక పారామీటర్ యూజ్ చేసేవాళ్ళం. అంటే ఏంటి, మీ ఒరిజినల్ డేటా ఫ్రేమ్ లోని యూఆర్ ఆస్కింగ్ ఇట్ టు మేక్ ద చేంజెస్ పర్మనెంట్లీ. సో దిస్ విల్ ఆల్సో ఇండికేట్ దాట్ ఓన్లీ. ఓకే, అంటే ఏం చెప్తున్నా అంటే ఈ పర్టిక్యులర్ కాలమ్ లోని, ఓకే, డిఎఫ్ ఆఫ్ జర్నల్స్ అనే కాలమ్ లోని, నా డేటా ఫ్రేమ్ లోని జర్నల్స్ అనే కాలమ్ లోని యూ కన్వర్ట్ దట్ పర్టిక్యులర్ కాలమ్ ఇంటూ స్ట్రింగ్స్. ఓకే, సింగిల్ స్ట్రింగ్ లాగా కన్వర్ట్ చేయని చెప్తున్నాం అనమాట. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈస్ ఎ బేసిక్ స్టెప్ అనమాట టు కన్వర్ట్ మై లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ those dictionaries or the JSON format into this string. Okay, that's why I'm using this df of genres 2 times. Okay, one more doubt. I see people are commenting in the live chat. So I mean, few people are able to comment on live chat. So can you please check again once? I mean, you should be able to comment in the live chat as well. So yes, let's quickly summarize. I mean, my system, I'm having some issue with my system. Okay, so ఈ రోజు క్లాస్ లో ఏం డిస్కస్ చేసుకున్నామంటే we have imported the libraries and then we have loaded the data set and we have uploaded the data set from our local to the Python notebook or Google Colab notebook, and we have done some of the data pre-processing, like we have converted our data set CSV file into a data frame, and we have printed first few records of the data frame, and we are printing the null values, and we are we are checking if there are any null values, and uh, on each column we are checking if there are any null values and printing those null counts, right? So after that we are converting the list columns, like genres ni keywords ni we are converting into a string format, and then we are checking if there are any duplicates also. So and then after checking we are printing if there are any duplicate count. So after checking what we have, మనకి మనం యూస్ చేసుకునే కాలమ్స్ లో ఓన్లీ ఇన్ ద కాలమ్ ఓవర్వ్యూ అనే కాలమ్ లోనే we have 3 null values. So we are filling those null values with empty string తో ఫిల్ చేస్తున్నాం. అండ్ వీఆర్ ఆల్సో చెకింగ్ ద సైజ్ ఆఫ్ ద డేటా సెట్, అంటే మన డేటా సెట్ లో ఎన్ని కాలమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఎన్ని రోస్ ఉన్నాయి అని చెప్పి. సో వీ హ్యావ్ 4803 రికార్డ్స్ ఆర్ ద రోస్ అండ్ 20 columns. Okay, so let's wrap our class for today. So in tomorrow's class we'll do some more pre-processing, and then we'll see uh, we'll understand those new NLP techniques. Okay, TF IDF factorizer and cosine similarity, those two concepts we'll try to finish them off in tomorrow's class, and we'll do some of the basic pre-processing also. Okay, yes, meanwhile if you guys have any doubts, please mention your doubts. Okay, because I think few people are having some doubts, but they're not able to comment it on the live chat or something. And in live chat also you have some doubts, you're asking me to repeat, but I'm not sure what exactly you're asking me to repeat. Let me stop recording. Any doubts? Okay, so I don't see any other doubts. You guys are trying to ask me some doubt, right? CNVVS 0010, CNMD 2006. If you're not able to comment it on YouTube, then you're there in Zoom class also. You can comment it in Zoom class also. No? Okay, fine. Since I'm not seeing any other doubts, then I think we're good to close the call. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining.